Hi everyone, I'm Jackie and welcome to my channel, Cheers Memories Crochet. This is part 2 of the bunny security blanket and you should have all your rows done. I did a total of 8 rows and now we're going to do the border. I wanted to show you though, you can do these in any sizes that you want. I did a little bitty one and it's perfect just to fit in a baby's hands. And I think I used a 3.5 for that one. See how much smaller. But anyway, I wanted to show you that. You can just do any sizes that you want in this kind of blanket. Okay, so now we're going to do the border. So I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 here. Then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to that corner. Now I'm going to chain 3. This will act as our first double crochet. And now I'm going to go back in that same corner and I'm going to do 4 more double crochets. One more. So that would be, counting the chain 3, that will be a total of 5 double crochets. So that's our corner. Now we're going to skip the first chain here, and then the second one we're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to skip 1, and then the next one we're going to do 5 double crochets. And you can do as many double crochets as you want here. You can do 4, you can do 6, 2, 3, 4. Just need 1 more. And then I'm going to skip 1, and then the next one I'm going to do a single crochet. And just go ahead and finish the same pattern all the way to the corner, and you're going to end up in the last chain, do a single crochet, and then we'll do our next corner right here. And I'll meet you at that corner. Okay, I'm at my first corner here. This last stitch here, I'm going to do my single crochet. Then I'm going to jump over here to this corner, and I'm going to do 5 double crochets. And 5. So it should look like that so far. So go ahead and continue that same pattern. 5 double crochets in each corner. You're going to skip 1, do a single crochet, skip one, and then do 5 double crochets. And go ahead and continue that all the way to the end of the round, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I made it all the way around. I'm going to do my last single crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, just like that. I want to chain 1, pull my yarn a little bit, leave me a tail, leave a tail long enough to weave in. Okay, so we're done with our blanket part. Should look like this. And there's the head. So now we're going to work on the arm. So I'm going to, remember we used a 4.25 millimeter hook. So we're going to make a magic circle. And I will put a link in the description box of how to easily make a magic circle. So we're going to I'll show you right now, but it's a lot easier in my tutorial. Okay, just wrap around 2 of your fingers, kind of like that. Get that loop and bring it up. It's kind of how if you're going to make a slip knot, you just go ahead and pull it, but just don't pull it. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 6 single crochets in this circle. And 1 more, 6. So now we're going to pull that tail, and we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. And sometimes here in the beginning it's kind of hard to see where your first one is. Just go ahead, if you're having trouble, and count back 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there is my 6th one. Then after a few rows, I like to go in here and tie this. I'll go under a loop and then tie this tail. That way you don't have to worry about the hole getting bigger later on. Okay, so that's row 1. Row 2 is we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go in each stitch and do 2 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, and I'm going to jump to the next stitch, and I'm going to do 2 single crochets. So go ahead and continue that, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, I'm at the end of round 2. I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Be careful not to slip stitch into that chain 1. It's always at a different angle. As you can see, it's kind of sticking straight up, and then your first single crochet is laying flat. And you should have 12 single crochets at the end of this row. Now we're going to chain 1, and this is row 3. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and in the second stitch 2 single crochets. So a single crochet in the next one, and 2 single crochets in the next one. So go ahead and continue that same pattern. 1 single crochet, and then in the next one 2 single crochets, and at the end of the row you should have 18 single crochets. Okay, I'm at the end of my row. I'm going to slip stitch that first single crochet, and so now for rows 4 through 6 we're going to chain 1, and you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. So every row you should have 18 single crochets, and do this for rows 4 through 6, and I'll meet you at the end of row 6. Okay, I'm at the end of round 6, and I'm getting ready to slip stitch into that first single crochet. I wanted to show you though here. See this stitch right here, right there? That's not a stitch, that's just where you slip stitched into the previous row. That used to, when I first started crocheting, that used to confuse me. Okay, so, and then that's your slip stitch, and here's your chain 1, so it's right there, your first single crochet. Okay, so this is row 7. Well, okay, so I'm going to chain 1, and in your first stitch you're going to do a single crochet, and now we're going to do a 2 together. Some people call it a 2-tog. How you do that is you're going to pick up this front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you're going to go over to the next stitch, do the same thing, go under the front loop only, now yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 on your hook, yarn over and go through all those. I'll do that one more time. In the next one, you're just going to do 1 single crochet, and in the second stitch you're going to do the 2 together again, go underneath that first stitch or the front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 2 on your hook now. Jump over to that next stitch, go under the front loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, go through all 3 of those. So go ahead and continue that all the way to the end of the row. You're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and a 2 together in the next 2 stitches. You'll pick up the front loop of this first one and then pick up on the front loop of the second one. Go ahead and continue that all the way to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm at the end of row 7. You should have a total of 12 single crochets, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. And I don't know if I mentioned to you if we're doing the ear or the arms. This is the arms. Okay, so that's the end of row 7. Now in rows 8 through 20, you're going to just do a single crochet in every stitch. So at the end of every row, you'll have a total of 12 single crochets. You can chain 1 and do a single crochet in every stitch around, and go ahead and do that for rows 8 through 20, and I'll meet you at the end of row 20. Okay, I'm at the end of row 20. I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet, just like that. I'm going to chain 1, and I've already cut my yarn off. You're going to want to leave a long enough tail to weave this arm onto the bunny. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that all through there. And you're going to need to make 2 of these. Okay, just like that. Now we are going to stuff only the hand part. I just put a little bit at a time in there. And if it's easier for you, you can always stuff it before you get so far up. I usually wait though till I get it done. And you don't want to stuff it too much, just a little bit. And that might be enough right there. I'll put just a little bit more in there. Okay, and just set this aside and go ahead and make your second one. And then we're going to attach this arm to the bottom of the head, between the bottom of the head and the blanket. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and set this aside and get my other stuff ready, and I'll meet you when I have everything ready. Okay, we are ready to make the ears. And you're also going to need 2 of those. We're going to do our magic circle. And chain 1. And we're going to do 4 single crochets in this magic circle. now we're going to pull our tail. We're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. 1, 2, 3. If it's hard to find it, go ahead and count back. I counted back 4. This one's a little bit harder to do because it has a sharp point at the top of the ears. Okay, so that's round 1. Now, in round 2, you're going to chain 1. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second. And at the end of the row, you will have 6 single crochets. So go ahead and finish that, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of round 2. And like I said before, if it's hard to find that first single crochet, go ahead and count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After this row, it's not as hard to find. And I apologize if you couldn't see my work for the last row. I noticed I was kind of far out here. Okay, so I'm slip stitching into that first single crochet. And the single crochet has to be a little bit tight. Okay, so now in round 3, see how tight it is, or how sharp it is? In round 3, we're going to do the same thing, and at the end of the row, you'll have 9. You're going to chain 1, and in that first stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet and 2 in the next. And go ahead and continue that for this round, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of row 3. You should have 9 single crochets total. I slip stitch into that first single crochet. Now for row 4, we'll go ahead and chain 1. Row 4, you're going to do a single crochet in the first 2 stitches. There's 1, and in the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and in the third, you're going to do 2 single crochets. In the next one, you'll do 1 single crochet, the next one, 1 single crochet, and in the third one, you're going to do 2 single crochets. And at the end of the round, you will have 12 single crochets, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm at the end of my row. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into that first single crochet. Okay, that's the end of row 4. Now for rows 5 through 7, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch, and you'll have a total of 12 single crochets at the end of every round. Chain 1 and just do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And I will meet you at the end of round 7. Okay, I'm at the end of round 7. I'm going to slip stitch to that first single crochet. I'm going to chain 1, and this is row 8. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches and 2 single crochets in the fourth. So there's 1, and in the next stitch, that would be 2, and 3, and in that fourth stitch, we're going to do 2 in the same stitch. So that's 3 single crochets in each stitch, the first 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and in that fourth stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochets. And go ahead and continue that, and at the end of the row, you will have a total of 15 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of the round. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet, and you should have 15 single crochets. Now we're going to start row 9. You're going to chain 1, and in the first 4 stitches you're going to do 1 single crochet in each, and in the 5th one you're going to do 2. So here's one in the first stitch, another one in the second, it's two, one in the third, that's three, one in the fourth, that's four, and two in the fifth stitch, that's two. So that's a total of six. So go ahead and continue that. In the next four stitches, you're going to do one single crochet, and in the fifth stitch, you're going to do two single crochets. And at the end of the round, you will have 18 single crochets, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm at the end of row 9. You should have a total of 18 single crochets. Slip stitch into that first single crochet, chain 1, and in row 10, you're just going to do one single crochet all the way around in each stitch, and at the end you will have a total of 18 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of row 10. Okay, in round 11 we're going to chain 1, and in the first 4 stitches we're going to do one single crochet, three and 4, and then the 5th and 6th one we're going to do a two tog together, which go under that first loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, under the next stitch under the front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, have 3 on your hook, yarn over, go through all 3 of those. So go ahead and do that. Same pattern, you're going to do one single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then you're going to, in the 5th and 6th stitch, you're going to do a 2 tog together, and at the end of the row you will have 15 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, in row 12 we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a single crochet in the first 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th we're going to do a 2 together. So go ahead and continue that. For this round you're going to do a single crochet in the first 3 and a 2 tog in the next 2 stitches, and at the end of the row you will have 12 single crochets, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm at the beginning of round 13, and in rows 13 through 15 you're just going to do one single crochet in each stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do one single crochet in every stitch around, and at the end of the round you will have 12 single crochets, and continue this for rounds 13 through 15, and I'll meet you at the beginning of row 16. Okay, I'm at the beginning of row 16. I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to do one single crochet in each stitch for the first 2. For the first 2 stitches, one single crochet, and in the 3rd and 4th we're going to do a 2 together, which is go underneath the first loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, go underneath the second stitch, the front loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, have 3 on your hook, yarn over, and go through all 3 of those. So go ahead and continue that same pattern. The first 3 stitches, the first 2 stitches do one single crochet in each, and then in the 3rd and 4th you're going to do a 2 together, and at the end of the round you will have 9 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm at the beginning of row 17, and row 17 through row 22 you're just going to do one single crochet in every stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do one single crochet in every stitch around, and at the end of the row you will have 9 single crochets, and go ahead and do this 17 through 22, row 22, and I'll meet you at the end of row 22. Okay, I'm at the end of round 22, I'm going to slip stitch into the very top there, that single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1, and then I've already cut off, and you're just going to leave a long tail because you're going to have to attach this ear to the bunny. And I always like to have more than I think I'm going to use. And if you do make a mistake and you don't have enough, you can always, tie some more on there. Okay, so there's your ear. We're not going to stuff this ear. So go ahead and make another ear. And this is going to be the end of part 2. And in part 3, we are going to attach our ears and our arms to our bunny. And hopefully I can fit in the face, the eyes, and the nose. So I want to thank you for joining me, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos, and hopefully I'll see you there, and I'll see you in part 3 of making of the bunny. Bye-bye.